Okay, Ariel and David, I want to give you a quick summary. This parsha is Yitro, about the famous convert. The Midrash seems to be bothered by something. Again, I often say this, we learn things in elementary school, we take it for granted, we don't look at it again and examine it. And the Midrash is not like that. It looks at everything new, and it says, wait a second, are you trying to tell me that a guy heard about miracles that happened to the Jews and he converted? I mean, does that make any sense? The Jewish people themselves lived through that, and they themselves had issues with belief not long after that. And in fact, the Torah itself records that, 3,000 years ago, that there's going to come a time when your children are not going to maybe connect so much to Pesach, right? That's we say the child who's called the Tum. It says, "Vayaki yishalcha b'nechel mechemor." Your child will ask one day, saying, "Mazo, what is this all about?" So how is it that somebody can just hear something and change his life? I mean, we know we've all heard stories of maybe someone who was in a difficult, dangerous situation in a war or a car accident or a sickness, and they were healed and it was life-changing. But how is that possible? So the answer starts to emerge from the Midrash in a very innocent way. The Midrash says that Moshe was told that Yitro was on his way with his wife and kids. He's on his way. And the Midrash says, well, who told him that? So there's different opinions. He got a messenger, he got a letter. And the third opinion is, no, God told him. And God gave him a little message along with telling him. God said to him, I was the one who was Makarev. I helped bring Yitro along on his journey to Judaism. And I want you to make sure to do the same to all converts. Don't you dare chase them away. Welcome them and bring them. And I must want to tell you a quick story. You know that Mom and I have a lot of interesting people at our Shabbat table and a lot of converts. And there's a story about a woman who came. She was in a wheelchair from South America, and she had polio as a kid. And she told us she spent a lot of time in hospitals, and she used to watch TV. And one time she saw a documentary on the Holocaust, and she burst into tears. And her father said, "What's wrong?" He says, "How could this happen? Who are these people?" And he said, don't worry, sweetheart. Things are better for them. They have their own state. And she said, yes, but I need to understand this. And she spent years studying and reading about Jewish history and about the Jewish people. And when she got well enough, she was still in her wheelchair. She said, I got to go see where they live now and what's happening to them now. So she came to Israel. She felt at home and she converted. Now, does that make any sense? She didn't live through these dramatic periods of time. She watched the documentary. She didn't live through the Holocaust. And she didn't, even if the documentary happened, she watched the documentary years after the Holocaust. And she didn't live through the drama of the state of Israel emerging and being attacked by 5 Arab countries. This is all hearsay. And yet she converted. So perhaps that's, a similar story to Yitro. And the answer is, as hinted before in what God said to Moshe, that God is holding hands with every convert on their journey. And that's how it happened. And let's hope he's holding hands with all of us on our journey. Love you both. Love to hear any comments. Take care. Have a great Shabbat.